Hello, welcome to another Real Raw Moment, and tonight's is about joy and grief. Before we get into it, let's get into what I'm not. I'm not a doctor, lawyer, therapist, or any other accredited body that can be used in your case. I'm simply a two-time alienated parent, been in the court system for over a decade, and have a lot of experience with narcissistic abuse and coercive control. As the internet likes to say, this is for information and or educational purposes only. As I like to say, I agree with the internet. I also do these videos to get conversations going. So please comment below at any time. And I don't want you to agree with me if you don't agree with me. Share your thoughts, share your opinions. That's why I do this. What I will not tolerate are any gender-based attacks or any attacks against any population or basically anything really, really cruel or mean. You'll be deleted and reported. Okay, enough of that nonsense. Let's get into it. All right. Yesterday, I was bitch slapped by grief. At a time, in some moments, where I was trying to and was actually feeling joy. So let me set the stage. Yesterday, I took my daughter, whom I have with me, on a field trip to the aquarium. Now, without getting into too many specifics about her and her agency, she has agency, I don't want to give away her life. This was a big deal. This is something we've been working up to. It was something that we were looking forward to. And it's also something that I used to do with her and her brother often when they were little. Where I live, the aquarium is a big destination spot. It's always fun. It's always changing. It's a really great space. It's just part of growing up here where I live. And so this day had been planned for a while, and I've been really looking forward to it. And I want to preface this whole thing by saying I really enjoyed it. I really did. My experiences I'm going to talk about didn't take away from that. I think that's part of the important message here. But anyhow, bringing it back. We came to the day, and I was off. My energy was off. This was yesterday, by the way. This was not like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. This was yesterday. And I was tired. Now, I had also come off of doing a ton of legal work that week. Like, I was just physically, mentally, emotionally tired, and yet still excited to go and do this. So, like parents, right? We go do what we do. And the whole time we were driving there, it took a bit, I was in my mind trying to negotiate with myself, negotiate my emotions. I'm driving towards something that was going to be was joyful, and also I knew was going to be painful. Now, when I say I knew, I often, when I coach people, I'm like, well, don't apply the emotion before you get there. So this is the work I'm doing with myself in the car. Okay, Natalie, be in the moment. You've been looking forward to this. This has been planned. This is about you and her. It's not about you and him. It's actually not about the past. It's about the present. All the things. But there's something in my core. There was just like this heaviness that was just like descending on me that I was trying desperately to control. Because when you're in a situation where joy and grief have to coexist, not even fight or, the tug of war, but they've got to go side by side, it's incredibly difficult. So anyhow, carrying on to getting there, parking, it's great, found a parking spot, it's not that busy, like all of these, everything's great. And I ask them if they want to take now there's an iconic fountain there that's been there since the place opened. We all have photos with it. It's never moved. The entire building has changed, but this thing has always been where it's at. And I said, do you want a photo with it? And she was so excited. And here's the reason she wanted to do this field trip, by the way. It wasn't just because this was a place of joy in the past. She, in her wisdom, wanted to create new memories that let the past go and created new memories for her and for us in this space, which incredibly mature. And so knowing that with her, I'm trying to do the same thing. I am trying to here we are, new memories, new joy, new everything. Let it go. And yet here I am. struggling on the struggle bus. Take photos, and she's so joyful. And I say, do you want to do a selfie? Because I did. I want to do that selfie. I wanted to be present with that while I'm got this war going on in my head. And here we are. So I'm going to show you this picture now. It looks kind of funny off to the side because our faces were next to each other and I've blurred them out. But here we are. And I even wore the same sweater to say, like, hey, this is Walmart Winter 2024 edition. It's recent, but to show that this is actually recent as well. So this is me in a pretty intense stage of grief. Yeah. Who can relate? Comment below. I know there's got to be people out there who can. This is what we would call masking. I can do other videos on another day, but this is me. And I want to qualify this because I was actually experiencing joy. I was ecstatic that we were there. I was happy that we were cheek to cheek. We've come a long way, her and I, in a lot of different ways that I won't share here, and yet I am holding back tears in that photo. And that is the tone for the day. We're in the place and we're experiencing things, and there's constant battle for me to be present, to re-experience this, like not even experience it again, but try to wipe the slate clean and experience this with her. And I'm successful for a lot of it. I mean, one of the things I'll tell you is I put my phone away. I took the odd photo from time to time. That was it. I put my phone away. But there was also the times where I urgently needed to go to the washroom, and I purposely didn't wear makeup that day so I could cry. Told my daughter I had stomach issues, so it's going to be a minute. And she was happy. She had her phone and sitting in a cubicle and stall in a attraction place that used to be so safe. And that's the hardest part about it's so fucking hard language, sorry. That place used to be like this destination of joy always. Nothing bad had ever happened there. I have photos and memories. I have memories that go so far back as my childhood, and that's saying something because I don't have a lot of childhood memories that are connected. I mean, to that end, I used to volunteer at this place. I had the opportunity to be a volunteer when I was 10. What a privilege when I look back on it. So it's somewhere that holds a lot of significance to me. And I was fighting for joy while fighting through grief. And that was like, real raw moments. Yep, God, don't edit. How does that make sense? How does it make sense that joy and grief need to walk side by side? Well, to a degree, it does make sense in my situation because it's a space that had actual physical connotations, or with my son, with my daughter, pardon me, in separate times. But this experience that I'm talking about isn't isolated to doing something like what I was doing, which is going back to a place, a landmark, with, now in my case, I have my daughter this time. If I had neither of my children, they were both alienated, and I was doing the same thing, I'd be saying the same thing. The only reason I'd be going there is because for some other child or something. But anyhow, I'm getting off track. I'm getting off track because this is really intensely emotional for me to share. And it's a struggle to reconcile joy and grief. And in this case, capturing new memories in an old place. So why? Why was I experiencing grief and joy, and why wasn't I able to just shut it off? And Lord knows, I wish I could have just shut it off. Well, I don't actually have the answer for that. I thought actually going to this video and I would have the answer by the time I got here. I've done a lot of research on this, and I don't have a concrete answer as to why I can't put the grief away other than this. In this instance, in my instance here, to not experience the grief would be to deny the fact that I had those memories with my son prior to this day. Does that make sense? So if I had said, all pure joy, forget the past, allergy or something, forget the past, and just focus on this moment today, and basically, in a sense, throw away those memories, or compartmentalize them is what I would say. Just, no, I refuse to do that. That would hurt more than the grief that was creeping in. And that grief creeping in is because I was experiencing this in the first place. I feel like when I get to this point of the videos, either you're an alienated parent, you understand, or grieving parent, you understand, or you're like, Natalie, you're not making any sense. Pick or choose. And as always, comment below. For me to have experienced pure joy, which would, and only joy, and not do battle with grief, would have meant that I needed to disregard, fully compartmentalize, ignore, and for all intents and purposes, pretend that the experience there that I had with my son didn't exist. And for me, that would mean erasing my son. Now, as alienated parents, the word erased is one we often use. It's the best way to explain alienation to someone that you're talking to. What do you mean? Well, no, I've been erased. It's a visual almost, pencil that helps explain. My point being, and again, these are my real moments. I do them in one take. And yes, I am scattered on this one because I wanted to share this, and I want to share this. And also, it's been 24 hours since I had this experience. Being an erased parent means that I never want to erase any experience that I've had with my child or children. Period. In fact, I hold on to them so tightly, so close, that at times, that is where the grief becomes overwhelming and I am not able to experience joy in general. In the grieving cycle and whatnot, there's, the 5 steps, there's five stages, there's more than that now, but they don't apply to alienated parents. Alienated parents experience living grief. So if I'd gone to the space with my daughter, in some way, I would have honored my son's memory by being there. I would have probably taken a moment beside a favorite tank or a space or something, or bought something, or probably I would have made a donation in memoriam, something like that. Well, I won't do that because my son's not with us. Very much alive. And this is a dichotomy. This is the struggle. This is the weird thing about parental alienation. Grief comes up. It bubbles up like lava. Even in the midst of joy. And in fact, more so in the midst of joy. It makes being joyful and experiencing joy very difficult. Okay. We're almost out of time. That was a rabbit trail at its best. I hope that you pick it up and comment below about what you feel you've experienced in this regard, especially here we are. This is December 21st today, 2024. Yes, I will date it. A few days before Christmas. So, of course, grief and joy, they're neck and neck. Let me know what you think. Comment below.